I mean, the most I've ever seen is just like the remnants of such and such or some little whatever, oh, we get 10 inches of rain. What do you do? I mean, I've never seen anything like this and certainly wasn't anywhere prepared.
I think a lot of people are in that same boat, and
Yeah.
hopefully we never see anything like this again. Your story has got elements that I know countless people in the Carolinas and beyond can relate to. We saw lots of homes that were damaged, a lot of people who were uprooted, like yourself. Your story, though, has a unique aspect in that you're a YouTuber. You've got 2 million YouTube subscribers, and your home was not only your place of residence, but also this place that housed this vintage tech collection, which you work your living around. How much of your collection was lost?
Thankfully, not very much in the end. So where the trees came down, and they sort of rested on the top floor as they came through the roof and cleaved the house in two. Basically, the trees were just sort of right there, and then right below that floor was where the majority of my collection is. And we're talking, 18 years of collecting. There were a couple thousand random items in there of just everything from the 1970s onward in terms of vintage computers, software, and all of that, mostly all up on shelves. And, I made a really big point of keeping everything elevated off the floor, right? Because, basements and such, obviously they get some water and everything was up 4 inches off the floor. I thought it'd be fine if we got a little bit of water coming in. Well, I never expected the water to be coming in from above.
Hmm.
So, yeah, it was maybe 5%, honestly, that probably had to, just be tossed or whatever, just due to mold mostly because the mold was horrific. Mostly because there were so many things in there that were in boxes and paperwork, manuals, old floppy disks, and just things that were very, very prone to mold, including the shelves themselves, which I now know never to use particle board shelves, like metal shelving, but they had particle between, and that just turned into a mold factory. But it looked way, way, way worse at first because everything just got soaked. Thankfully, though, a lot of vintage hardware, which is mostly what was down in that room in particular, is very hardy. You just kind of dry it out and scrape it off and blow out the junk and make sure that everything is good and clean before you power it on again. And mostly it's fine. So I just kind of lost things like a lot of older laptops and some really smaller integrated things that were just too caked together with gunk to save. And then of course anything like I said, paper. But thankfully the majority of things that were all in boxes, like I have a software and game collection as well that
Hmm.
I covered a lot of stuff. The channel, most of that was all on the other side of the house that didn't get the water intrusion. So that stuff all survived. If it had been in that room, that would have been far more difficult. So I got really, really lucky. It was mostly everything that upstairs that got destroyed. Mostly that was just, you know, personal life stuff.